Craig Ehrenberg here from Awesemo.com, and in this video, I'm going to be highlighting the best FanDuel tournament plays for Wednesday night's MLB slate. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and check out our sponsor, Prize Picks, who they're not only sponsoring the show, but they also have a good deal with us, where if you sign up using our promo code Awesemo, you get up to a $100 bonus on your first deposit. So if you're opening up a Prize Picks account, make sure you take advantage of some free money. Now I'm going to get into the best plays for FanDuel slate on Wednesday night, and one thing that's kind of nice about this slate, a lot of the ownership and pricing is really similar on DK and FanDuel. So my favorite tournament plays on DraftKings are actually a lot of my favorite tournament plays on FanDuel as well. Starting with my favorite stack of the day for tournament purposes, the Milwaukee Brewers, who are picking up only 3.7% ownership on FanDuel with a 6.5% chance to be the top scoring team on the slate. So we're getting a good amount of leverage there. And I just really like the matchup that the Brewers have against Kyle Hendricks, who, as he's gotten older, his fastball velocity has diminished even more. Not that he was ever a guy who threw hard, but now he's only sitting at 87.2 miles per hour on average. It's the lowest mark of his career. And as a result, a guy who used to be pitch to contact, but generate a lot of soft contact, a lot of ground balls, and limit walks. The walk rate is up. The strikeout rate is down. The hard contact is up. So he's a 5.2 ERA, a 5.43 expected ERA. And then other things to be concerned about with Kyle Hendricks long-term, like I said, the contact numbers, the ground ball rate, career low. The home run to fly ball rate is up to 15.5%. So the last couple of years have been the two highest marks of his career. Kyle Hendricks looks like a pitcher to attack, and the Brewers fit the bill as a team that would take advantage of the shortcomings of Kyle Hendricks, because the Brewers have the second highest ISO in all of baseball against right-handed pitching, a good contrarian stack to build around. And another one I like is a contrarian stack, the Chicago White Sox against Hyun-Jin Ryu. When it comes to Ryu, another guy, formerly one of the top pitchers in the National League, now pitching in the American League with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he just hasn't been the same since signing with Toronto. I know a lot of people might look at it and say, hey, well, he used to pitch in the National League in a pitcher-friendly park. Now he's in the AL East, where there's a lot of good offenses. He's also pitching in a pitcher-friendly ballpark in Toronto. All that is true, but at the same time, too, third consecutive year where we've seen the fastball velocity decrease for Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's a 5.4 ERA, a 4.97 expected ERA. So even if he was pitching in the National League, I'm not sure he would find a whole lot of success at this point in his career. We look at some of the numbers on the White Sox. We have them with a 3.8% projected ownership as a team, with a 6.3% chance to be a top stack. So just like with the Brewers, I think we're getting a lot of positive leverage on the White Sox. And one other thing to point out when it comes to Chicago, while this is an offense that's been disappointing relative to expectations this year, a lot of it's been against right-handed pitching. Against southpaws, they have a 120 WRC+, so it is one of the best offense in baseball against left-handed pitching. It's just against right-handed pitching I think we need to be wary when it comes to the White Sox. Moving over to some of the top pitching options for tournaments today, once again, some lower-owned plays. I'm starting with Tyreek Skubal, who I just think makes for a really good pivot off of the more popular, expensive starting pitchers. The chalk on FanDuel, if you're paying up, it's Robbie Ray and Nestor Cortes. So Ray is projected for 27.5% ownership. Cortes projected for 20.2% ownership, whereas we're getting Tyreek Skubal at a much lower ownership clip, sub 10% here, 4.3% for Tyreek Skubal. So just keep those numbers in mind. 4.3% ownership for Skubal, and then over 20% for Nestor Cortes and Robbie Ray. But what's the drop-off really between these guys? Because Skubal's been really good this year. And if you look at our projections, Cortes has a 12% chance to be the top scoring pitcher, 10.2% for Robbie Ray, and then 8.6% for Skubal. So while, yes, that is slightly lesser numbers than we're getting from Cortes and Ray, it doesn't mean these guys should be 5 or 6x more owned in tournaments. So it looks like we're getting good leverage on Tyreek Skubal. He makes sense as a leverage play. And he's also just pitched really well this year. The strikeout rate is up. The walk rate is down to a career low. And that's something that's really impressive to me, where Tyreek Skubal has been able to really cut into his walk rate while not hurting his strikeout rate at all. And then also you just look at the success he's had and the consistency. He's allowed 3 or less earned runs in 7 of his last 8 starts, 0 earned runs in 5 of those outings. So Skubal looks like a good pay-up option that we could use to be contrarian and pivot off of guys like Robbie Ray and Nestor Cortes. And my final tournament pitcher that I'm looking at for this slate, Garrett Whitlock, has a great matchup against the Cincinnati Reds. He's only 7,000 on FanDuel. And despite that, he's only picking up single-digit ownership with the second best odds of being the top value pitcher in the slate in our projections. So Garrett Whitlock, low-owned. I think he presents value and a good matchup. Cincinnati Reds, 85 WRC plus against right-handed pitching and a 24.2% K rate. They're not hitting, they're striking out a bunch. Really favorable matchup for pitcher. And then one final thing to add about Garrett Whitlock. Earlier in the season, I would have been concerned about his ability to get the win bonus or the quality start bonus on FanDuel because it doesn't work all that deep into games. I'm not sure that's the case anymore. He pitched 6 innings in his last start. That's the longest leash the Red Sox have given him so far this year. It looks like he's starting to get stretched out. So to recap, my 2 favorite tournament stacks for tonight's slate, the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago White Sox. And then as far as contrarian pitchers go, I think we get a lot of upside in both Tyreek Skubal and Garrett Whitlock. That is going to do it for me today. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Good luck today, everybody. And also, don't forget, if you're signing up at Prize Picks, use our promo code Awesemo to get up to a $100 bonus on your first